Hi everybody and welcome. It's Landmark Live. We are back. I'm Ivan Foley. This is Brad Carl. We're with the Platte County Landmark newspaper, aren't we, Brad?
We are.
Yeah.
We are, yes.
Now, what we want you to do is hit like or share. Absolutely. We want you to share this video on your page.
Please share it.
The more viewers, the more we can keep Platte City safe this Halloween, which is our goal.
That is our
tonight,
goal.
Right?
Yes. Whoa, I'm still up. Here I did. I pulled an Ivan. I pulled an Ivan. Sorry.
I tell you what, guys, we've got safety tips all night long. It's going to be, we're here to save lives, is what we're here.
Yes.
And we've got just the guy that's going to help us do that tonight. We'll get to our special guest here in a minute. But Cindy, can they see what happens if you don't follow the safety tips that we're going to give you tonight?
Right here.
You'll end up looking like this.
Not
okay.
good.
We don't want this. This is bad. Okay.
Yeah.
This is good. Follow the safety tips. You'll grow up to be big and strong, like Brad Carl. All right. And we've got tips for the kids and the adults, right, Brad? We've got all kinds of tips coming up.
We do. Probably have some personal tips too.
Well, good.
You know.
Brad, you're kind of like my life coach. So I'm glad that you're going to.
I'm always here for you, Ivan.
You're going to. I hope to grow up and be big and strong like you said.
When you text me in the middle of the night, I'm there for you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's only in case of emergency.
That's right. Linda didn't come home.
No, now listen, we've got a great sponsor tonight too. A great sponsor, because this is an episode directed toward the kids, right?
Yes.
Safety for the kids.
It's
so
true.
We do have tips for the adults too coming up real soon. But our special sponsor tonight is Platte Valley Bank and their Dollar Bill Kids Club. The Dollar Bill Kids Club of Platte Valley Bank is the sponsor of this episode of Landmark Live. The Dollar Bill Kids Club's goal is to help teach young people the importance of saving while having fun at the same time, kind of like Landmark Live. The club was organized 22 years ago and has over 4,000 members. Open an account online and start teaching your child the importance of saving money. Remember, FDIC, your kids' money is also protected by the FDIC. Right?
Yeah. I always thought the kids' money was for the parents to take when they couldn't find money.
That happens.
Yeah.
You should probably just keep your kids' money, in something at home where you have easy
Admit
access
it.
to it.
You've done it. I know you have, because I know we have.
An emergency only, right?
That's right.
So here we are tonight. We're going to bring in our special guest. We've got to make room for Sergeant Mike Mand. Woo! Mike, how are you, my friend?
I'm very well, thank you, sir.
We are so glad to have you here to
Great
keep
to have you,
the-
sir.
Thank you.
I'll tell you what, Mike. This guy,
you
jump
need
in
some
your
help?
chair.
We're
Oh, look at him.
we're gonna team lift it.
Yes, it's good.
We wanna
Get that man some help.
Big camp, we're out of here.
Now, Mike, jump up in that chair. We have 12 chairs here at the Landmark. There you
I
made it. All right,
I made it.
you're officially a director now.
concerned.
It is great to have you on, sir. Now let's start by talking a little bit about Mike Mand.
All right.
How long have you been with the PCPD?
I've been with Platte City 11 years now.
Oh my. Okay.
Yeah.
You started out as just a lowly officer. Now you're
Yeah.
a sergeant. Is that how?
Yeah,
Is that how
I've
it
kind of
works?
moved through the ranks, and I am currently a senior sergeant.
Senior sergeant. And when, because there's kind of an interim chief in place now, and when the interim chief wasn't yet there, you were the interim, right?
Unofficial.
That's a term that was kind of thrown around.
Interesting.
I try to make some decisions and things like that. And
Yeah.
Interim, I think was a term that I heard quite often.
Yeah. So you really busted the troops together during that time, right?
Well, I tried.
You're like, I'm here to make some decisions.
Yeah.
Is that what you said? You
Yeah,
come in-
I tried to make the best decisions, but I will be honest, the first time I was presented with a large bill that I had to sign off on.
That make you nervous?
Yeah, it made me nervous.
You don't want to sign your name
Oh,
on
yeah,
some
I
large
can
bill.
I was like, wait a second, I better check into this. Is this a legitimate bill?
Is this legit?
Luckily, it was.
Okay, good.
So yeah, I signed off.
Any bills that ever come to you from the Landmark, just go ahead and sign off. I'll sign off on
Okay,
those payments,
sure.
and we'll be good. That's how we roll, Mike. Now listen, you spent some time in the Platte County Sheriff's Department, though, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah. Okay, tell us about those days.
I was with them for approximately a year. I was a detention deputy,
Yeah.
and I worked in the jail for that year. And during that year, I was actually a reserve officer with Platte City.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And then when full-time position opened up for the city, that's how I made that transition from Sheriff's Department to the city.
Very cool. And what's the favorite part of your job, Mike?
I think every police officer says it, but just talking to people.
Yeah. So sometimes you just pull people over just so you can talk to them. Is that how you
Typically
roll?
not. No,
Okay.
we've got this probable cause thing that you have to have.
Well, that's
Uh,
you're watching too many movies. Is that for real?
Yeah, I think so, like on
That's real?
cops, and
Okay.
well, we're just talking about live PD.
Right.
Yeah, probable causes, you have to have.
That's important.
Yeah, yes, very, very important.
You know, what's funny is there are some police officers, based on the way that they are when they pull you over that maybe don't like people as much as you do out there in the world. Not necessarily for PC, but yeah. But
well, yeah, and I hate to see that because we all see examples of that.
Right.
And as a very young impressionable officer, I had an older officer tell me one time. They said, you get more bees with honey, and there's probably more to that saying. But that was the first part of the saying.
Sure, that's the only part you remember.
Right, yeah, you get more bees with honey, and I've always kind of tried to do that. I always try to be professional and courteous with people, and in the most part, I mean, my interaction is how that person is being to me.
Right.
So yeah, I've kind of found that best in my career, and just always be polite and professional, and things go a lot smoother.
I like it. I was reading a probable cause statement one time, and Mike was arresting a female on a drug charge. And according to the probable cause statement, she was dropping all kinds of nasty language on him, like F-bombs and things, probably that you and I have never heard.
Right, we don't do that.
And Mike just stayed calm and professional the whole time. I'm sure you did, right? And so
there's probably a video proof if I did.
They probably did. Were you wearing your body cam at that time?
Oh yes, yeah.
So we should probably get the video that
we should
show
Platte
that
County
on Landmark. That
Facebook
would be
page.
awesome. According to some of the quotes that were in that,
I can
that would
imagine.
be so much fun to watch. But we might have to beep some of the words out.
Yeah, you probably have to. Yeah.
But that's fun. So what? So you're like on day shift, right? So you're.
Yeah. So right now I'm on day shift.
All right, and this makes you popular with a lot of the business people because you stop in. I mean, you pop in our office sometimes and just visit and say, "Hey, I'm on the beat," and you kind of do that all around town. I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, especially when I get to a new shift. Just because I've been with the city for quite a long time now. A lot of people know me. I know a lot of people. And anytime I'm on a new shift, I try to stop by and say, these are the times you're going to see me. If you need something, I'll be sort of your point of contact.
Gotcha. Now we're gonna talk Halloween safety tips at some point. We really are, you guys. But right now,
This is interesting stuff.
Yeah,
bro.
now,
I like it. This is good.
Because you and Brad were talking earlier about how you like to watch the Live
Live
PD?
PD and a few other things. Yeah.
So can you relate to some of the stuff you see on Live PD as you watch it? You say, yeah, we've had that happen in Platte City, or is it all like, that's kind of weird?
Well, I think it spoils a little bit for me because sometimes it's always on. So I'm flipping through, I can't find anything. It's either I don't know if it's the same time of day that's always on, and I'm always on the TV, but it's always on. And every time I go on, it spoils it for me sometimes because it'll be like, it's just a car stop, and they, like nothing real eventful,
Right.
Where I think maybe, like an average viewer who's not in law enforcement, like, oh wow, look, they got a half ounce of marijuana,
Right.
And I just kind of keep going. It's like,
Right.
okay.
Yeah. But it used to be that way for me, and then after I watched about 1,000,001 episodes, I started to be like you.
Right.
And it's like that. Exactly. This is going to be boring. I fast forward.
You're almost a cop now. You've
I'm
watched so much.
practically a cop just by watching.
Yeah.
Yes.
You'll be pulling people over on the interstate.
Maybe that would be a good idea.
That
But
is
yeah,
just
I
scary.
understand that though. Yeah.
So any other cop shows you watch and say, hey, that looks realistic? Or cop shows that you watch and say, oh, that's ridiculous?
I think sometimes, when you're watching movies and things like that, I notice like equipment things. And I think that goes with any profession. If you're in a certain profession, you're gonna notice like that's not right.
Yeah.
So I'll see something and it's like that's not how you wear it. That's not where you put your handcuffs, or that's not how you handcuff somebody. So that kind of stuff, and you see that more like sitcoms and that kind of thing.
Right.
Or it's like, oh, those are those fake handcuffs.
I can tell.
Yeah, Brad has some of those.
Oh, okay. Wait,
No comments.
That's
another
episode.
Right. No, Skinny Buck put them on me.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, he actually has real handcuffs.
Yeah, no, he put them on. We did the DWI
Yes.
episode, and he put them on me.
He got them on you pretty tight.
DJ,
Yeah.
You pretty
I
much-
apologize. I didn't bring any alcohol.
No, it's okay. You can still cuff me later.
Yeah.
Which isn't the first time you've said that.
No, that sounded weird.
So that was that.
Didn't sound right.
Gosh. So now Beverly Hills Cop with Eddie Murphy. Was that realistic? Did you watch that movie?
I've never put bananas in a tailpipe.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, that's probably against protocol.
Yeah, and now I think about it, I was probably too young to even watch that movie. But I haven't seen that movie since I was very young.
Well, I've seen it many times, so I can
Yeah.
probably. You took the best line of the movie there about the banana. And the
Oh,
tailpipe.
absolutely,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
That's
great.
great.
Yeah. You've seen it.
Well, I've seen it, and I was going to mention too. The one thing I do that we didn't talk about before the show started was I do write books, and so I do find myself quite a bit, writing about law enforcement. And I've actually had people ask me if I if I'm in law enforcement or I've been in law enforcement because of the detail that I put. But really, Google's your friend, number one.
Oh, right, yeah.
You know, and so is watching live PD.
Right.
But I try to get certain details right. But of course, in fiction and in TV shows and stuff, some of that stuff is dramatized, like the banana in the tailpipe, for the entertainment of the audience. You know, and it's just. You got a better show when Eddie Murphy puts a banana in the tailpipe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So on your bio now, you just put, "I am not a cop, but I do watch live PD."
I do watch live
Yeah.
PD. Yes.
That's interesting.
And the problem with movies like that, because now I'm thinking about, it starts out with him, in the back of the truck. And when I watch scenes like that in movies now, I just think, wow, that'd be a horrendous report to write. It's like, it'd be days. It's like, oh, we got all this.
Is that the worst part about being an officer? Is you get the paperwork?
It's part of it.
Yeah. Is that your least favorite part?
Yeah, I think that would probably be my least favorite.
But you had fun writing that PC statement that I was referring to, right? Because it was very colorful. I'm taking that you.
I don't know if I have fun. Yeah, I mean, it's part of my job to accurately describe.
Well, it sounded like you accurately described
right.
a mess.
You can always hire a ghostwriter to write that stuff.
Yeah.
Reports for you.
I don't know. I'll check with the prosecutor's office and see if I can ghostwrite probable cause statements.
Yeah.
I will help you.
Yeah, that's
I know a
most
lot
of
of
me.
verbs and adverbs and whatnot.
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah, you're really good at ad libs.
Stop by. Oh, yeah, Mike. No charge for that.
Well,
Brad, would you
I'll
read
get a charge, but anyway, sorry.
Read a commercial for us, Brad. I
Sure.
need to give my voice a break.
Sure. Platte Valley Bank is a co-sponsor of the annual Trunk or Treat event to be held
That's tomorrow night.
Tomorrow
Friday night,
night.
October 26th.
That's right, at the Platte County Community Center in Platte City. Dollar Bill, the mascot for the club, very cool, will be there to greet the children. Stop by their booth for a free hot dog and a special treat. The safety of children is important to ownership and employees of Platte Valley Bank. They proudly sponsor this episode right now of Landmark Live with Sergeant Mann and the Platte City Police Department. Visit www.plattevalleybank.com, member FDIC.
Excellent. Thank you, Platte Valley Bank, for
Yes.
sponsoring this episode. Thank you, Susan Baker. Okay, Mike, let's get to this. Now, Halloween in Platte City, is it typically different from any other night, or is it pretty much, just that it's the same old thing? What happens?
No, it's definitely different than any other night.
Okay.
Obviously, a lot of pedestrian traffic.
There you go.
And along with pedestrian traffic is also a lot more motoring public. Kind of what I see a lot here is you have parents that are watching their children, but they stay in the vehicle. And all the parents kind of do like the leapfrog thing as their parents make their way down the block. So you're mixing pedestrians with vehicles, and a lot of times those drivers are paying attention to their child, not always paying attention to where their vehicle is going, and we can kind of run into some problems there.
Yeah.
So that kind of goes back to some of those just kind of rules that we learned growing up. For trick or treating is go in groups. Have some sort of supervision. Try to use crosswalks, and the best way is just stay on one side of the road, use a crosswalk, and come back the other way. I know sometimes kids want to kind of run back and forth and catch them all, but that's where you're running in between parked vehicles and drivers can't see and things like that.
Yeah, what he just described kind of sounds like the airport. Going to pick
Yeah.
somebody up. It's like people,
Yeah.
and cars and cars.
Yeah.
But so I got to ask, this is probably on your list, what are the calls that you hear the most, that you get the most on Halloween night of things? I mean, are they legit? Are they maybe sometimes a little bit false alarmy?
Of course I'm going to knock on wood. Historically, Halloween is a pretty good day for us. As far as we'll get an occasional call, maybe like a noise disturbance, because people have Halloween parties, and sometimes those can get a little loud and rowdy. So I think we deal more with that. And every once in a while we might have sort of like some of the homecoming behavior where there might be some toilet papering going on, things like that.
Right.
So a little bit of that.
But nothing generally, like you said, knock on wood.
Generally,
nothing major.
knock on wood. But definitely a huge influx of people in neighborhoods, residential areas, and a lot of the residential areas, they're not built for that kind of heavy traffic. The narrow roads, and you've got people, lining both sides of the road, and a lot of movement. So the big thing is just take your time.
Right.
But a great segue when you're talking about trunk or treat, that is absolutely great and safe environment. To basically go get candy. I actually was just speaking to them today, and they have 50 sponsors right now. So it's the equivalent of going to 50 houses in a compressed time. And they hold it in both their parking lots, the lower parking lot and upper parking lot, right at the Platte County Community Center. And basically, you just get in line, and you're gonna hit like 50 spots, and you're gonna get candy like you would not believe there.
Yeah, beat that. And like you said, very safe.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's great.
Yeah, and it's actually before it even gets dark, right?
Yeah, it's 5:30 to 7:30.
5:37.
Yeah, it runs for 2 hours. And the YMCA also, they have food and refreshments there. So it's kind of.
So if you hit that, you really don't even need to go trick or treating on Halloween night. You stay home and watch the scary movies and whatnot.
You can try that.
Yeah.
I don't know if children are going to go for that.
Right.
Yeah.
They're going to double dip, is what they
Yeah.
want to do, right? I mean, I wouldn't blame them. I'd do the same thing, right? But speaking of scary movies, Mike, I went to see Halloween the other night with Jamie Lee Curtis. I'm assuming you've seen the original.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, another movie I probably saw when I was way too young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that movie realistic? I mean,
Yeah, I'd have to.
How's that
I'd have to go back and
Google serial
Yeah.
killers.
I've found because occasionally I do have to. I don't want to say chase somebody, but sometimes I have to chase somebody that's running from me.
right.
And if I were to walk at that pace, I would never catch anybody.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they do it in those movies.
Yeah.
Good point.
I don't think it's that realistic.
I don't think it is because Michael, you never see him really running. Michael
No.
Myers is the killer.
Right.
He just strolls around like he's going to church or something.
Again, all for entertainment purposes.
He never takes off
Yeah.
running.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
no,
pretty
he-
weird.
yeah,
So
it's-
probably not much truth in that one. You think?
I wouldn't think so.
Have you seen the new one?
No, I haven't seen the new one.
Brad, I saw it the other day. It's not bad.
I like
It's
it. Well,
kind of
Jamie Lee
campy.
Curtis in it's good because the one that Rob Zombie did was okay, but you bring Jamie Lee Curtis in and you start to really filter back to the original, which is cool.
Yeah.
So
And they got Jamie Lee looking like a grandmother in this one, which she's 59. We Googled this the other day because after watching the movie, I'm like, wow, she looks old. But we Googled it. In fact, with DJ Gert, the city administrator. Am I pronouncing his name right? I always say Gert.
I believe
it's
so, yeah.
Garrett. But Gert or Garrett, DJ, you know who I'm talking about. That's you. DJ's the one that told us she's only like 59 or 60, and we like, oh no. But according to Google, that's how old she is. But she looks much older than that in the movie. I'm sure they just made her up. She's probably
yeah, I think she actually looks pretty like about 59.
She's
and-
playing the
and
grandma in this one,
Mhm.
and yeah, it's
She's got a past.
She does have a very, and that's why her house is
No
like,
spoilers. I haven't seen
Yeah,
it.
honestly, well, that's all I would.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
no spoiler. The only spoiler I will give you is the soda pop down at Berry Woods 24. It all tastes the same. You punch the Sprite and take a drink, and then you punch the Coke and take it. I couldn't tell them apart. They all
You're
taste the
kidding
same.
me.
It's like they're all coming out of the same tap. or
That's
something.
not good.
No, it's not good. They need to do
No.
something about it. It's like they mix them together.
This is what I like about this show. We can get things done.
Well, yeah, I even put that in my column this week. Something's got to be done about that, Mike. Does that break any laws? Is that something you thought?
I'm gonna have to check our ordinance book on that one.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it's out of our
It
jurisdiction.
is out, but if I bring in a soda
I-
pop from there and I report it to you,
Right.
is that a crime?
Yeah. No, I don't think so.
So only an emotional crime.
It did. It made me upset.
If it makes you feel better, last time I was there, the ice actually wasn't working.
Oh.
So your money ahead there.
Well, try that because the
Yeah.
pop. It doesn't matter what button you hit; it's all going to taste the same, right? There's a little tip for you.
That's not good.
No, it is. It was not.
I probably would leave. I'm serious. I go for my pop.
Oh, really?
I don't drink a lot of pop, but when I do go to a movie,
Gotta
I
have
need
it.
some pop. I get a
Yeah.
big pop. I'm like a diet Pib Zero. Mr. Pib Zero is what they have at least the ones up where I live, and that's what I'm there for. That in the movie,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I
I'd
still
leave.
had the movie, even though my pop was not good. Popcorn. How you feel about the pop? That's how I feel about the popcorn. That's really
That's good stuff,
The only
too.
time I eat popcorn is at the movie.
Yeah.
How about you, Mike? You a big movie goer or not?
Yeah, I try to go when I can, and I'm the popcorn side of it though.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I'm not responsible with that butter because I get to do it myself.
yeah.
I get so much of it.
And I would tell myself I'm going to take it easy. I need to watch my health. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, the button must be stuck.
You
And I
watch your health, all right.
I keep going, and then I even start going. I'm gonna start flipping it around. I gotta get
Oh yeah, you're a trained
Might as well go
professional.
back in. Yeah.
Your wife's like,
you-
Mike,
Yeah.
who he's half over.
Well, yeah. In fact, yeah. My wife, she'll take her own popcorn because she doesn't want to.
Oh, that butter on there, yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to mention that when I was younger, a gal and I would go and not my wife, another gal. And we'd go and we would.
Oh, she's not watching.
I was gonna say this. Why
Oh,
not watching?
well, that's awkward.
She doesn't really like me.
Okay.
So my wife or the ex. Anyway, we would put M&Ms in the buttered popcorn, and so a lot of people go, "Ooh, gross," but it's got that sweet,
Oh,
salty
yeah.
thing
Yeah.
where it almost tastes like caramel corn or candy corn.
You
or
know,
something
get
like
those
that.
hot tamales and put those in your pocket.
No, that I'm not doing.
Oh, come on,
I'm
Brad.
not a big hot tamale guy.
Why not?
No, I don't know. Just, Junior mints.
Junior mints, yeah. Okay, I'll try that.
Milk duds.
Now let's get back to some Halloween safety tips because that's why everybody's tuning in.
Yeah.
Now, costumes. What do you recommend on costumes? Something that's
Well,
bright,
reflective.
bright color?
Yeah.
Reflective.
Well,
Okay.
reflective is always the best. If something isn't reflective, there's plenty of glow sticks you can put on there. You know, you can add things to costumes because a lot of times when you buy costumes, those aren't built into it. You know, if you go buy the Grim Reaper outfit, it's a black cloak. You know, that sort of thing. So you can always add those kind of reflective materials. That definitely helps out. Just
What about throwing some glitter on it?
Well, yeah, especially if that's part of your
Yeah,
costume.
do some-
Do some glitter.
Yeah.
I mean, it can't hurt.
Grim Reaper blues glitter.
Last time Brad and I went out to downtown Kansas City, he came home with a lot of glitter on his costume. That was weird.
Oh,
Yeah, but
wow.
that was a different.
That was a different.
It was awkward.
Yeah, it's awkward. Okay, any other tips? I mean, if you go to the door and the whoever answers the door and you're a kid and the person that answers the door, you don't know them, they invite you in. What do you say?
No, absolutely not.
You say
No!
That's what you
Perfect,
say.
yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Why do I want to push the baby button?
Maybe.
Maybe.
No. The big thing is also go to houses with their lights on. You know,
Yeah.
because you know I've kind of heard that happening sometimes. Because we've had that call where somebody won't have their lights on, and then you know, hey, people are knocking on my door, kind of thing. And that's sort of the universal sign that you know, please don't trick or treat here. Lights are off.
Yeah.
Right.
Very true.
Good. Now, have you ever gotten any weird calls on Halloween night in your time here in Platte City? Any weird
Anything
calls?
off kilter
Yeah.
from the norm that we were discussing? You can think of.
Really.
Really?
That's really a good thing.
Really,
though.
the best thing that you get about Halloween is kind of like the mugshots the next day. Yeah, because I've had it happen, you know, where you arrest somebody for something and they're in some sort of odd costume.
That's
great.
Right, yeah, because I mean, you know, unfortunately, I don't think mugshots are normally flattering anyways. And then you combine that with, you know, some sort of outfit or makeup and things like that. So I know you always kind of keep an eye on jail
We do.
population.
I do occasionally.
Yeah,
like
you can take a look
3
at
times a day.
Yeah. You can take a look at
Don't know why.
take a look at the mugshot and see if any you know
Yeah.
any people going to the parties were stopped.
That's a good idea. I will definitely do that the day after Halloween.
That's funny.
What other tips you got for us, Mike?
You know, kind of going back to just have some sort of supervision.
Right.
You know, whether that's, you know, mom, dad, you know, older siblings, something like that. I know lots of times parents kind of want to, you know, give their children some wings and kind of go out and be free sort of thing. But at a night like that where there's a lot of people out, a lot of things going on, a lot of vehicle traffic, it's best to be just right there.
Yeah.
And you know, that's why I like these events where, you know, you can you know, go to a nice safe environment, parking lot, no moving cars. They're right there for a trunk or treat event. And you know, kind of take some of that stress out of it. Because I've been in that position where sometimes, you know, when my children were younger, candy is a driving force for them. And it's sometimes hard to keep a good control because all of a sudden it's like, whoo, you know, especially all of a sudden somebody hears, oh, they got full-size candy bars.
Right.
And all of a sudden we want to dart across a couple rows and go to a certain house.
So it's important, and you're getting there to emphasize safe driving by the adults on Halloween
Absolutely,
night too.
yes.
Slow
Yeah, I mean,
and safe.
yeah, be diligent. Yeah, take your time, look around. 'Cause, yeah, you're talking, you know, a lot of small children, and you know, you can only see so far in front of your vehicle. If they're real close to you, you might have a difficult time seeing, you know, younger children.
Mm-hmm. You get a lot of trick-or-treaters down in your neighborhood. You're just kind
Yeah.
of you're in the Berry Road area, right?
Yeah. We do, and my daughter's already planned some things out apparently, and she was like, "You can do this, and then Mom can do this," and I'm like, "Okay." So it's like it's already planned. But you know, we in the past we had sat in our driveway, like one of us would sit in the driveway and hand out candy to the kids while the other one took our daughter trick or treating, and then we would go one way, then they'd come back, then I would go the other way. My wife would stay and, you know, do the candy and whatnot. Makes it a lot easier. We've got kind of a crummy stairwell thing that they would have to walk up to go to our door. So we always do that just to kind of make it safer. And I will mention one thing about traffic. I would think in theory that you might have a little more traffic accidents during Halloween, but maybe that's more so in more congested area and maybe in the metro area or something like that. Maybe they do.
Yeah, it can happen. I mean, as far as Platte City goes, I mean, sometimes we will have some. It's nothing like, you know, when we do like citywide garage sale,
Right.
where there's just a large amount of parked vehicles and vehicles trying to squeeze in between different things. That's sort of where we get the most of that. Or rain seems to be a huge contributor to many crashes. You get a little sprinkle and something happens, and
Makes me hate this city sometimes. It's a little bit of rain and everybody drives 10 miles an hour.
You should move to Platte City, where you got Mike patrolling the streets and keeping you safe.
That would be nice. Just hitch on the back of his vehicle.
Ford.
like Back to the Future.
Exactly. Michael J. Fox.
I can have some Huey Lewis queued up.
Here we go. That's great.
No, about you personally, will you be working Halloween night, or is it, since you're a day shift guy, will you be you'll be home by then?
I believe just by luck, I guess, I'm off that night.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I'll be with my family doing trick or treating.
Yeah, and I know where you live, Mike. Do you get a lot of trick or treaters out here? Now, Mike and I have met on the walking path because I did use the walking path one time, and
I'm your witness.
I do have a witness. I did exercise one time in the past year since I've lived near the walking path, and I ran into Mike and his wife and the dog. And yeah, do you get a lot of trick or treaters out there in your area?
I don't even know because we're never home.
Thank you. And we lived at our current house for like a year and a half now. I was not home because I worked Tuesday nights. Last year Halloween was on Tuesday. I was not even there, so I don't know if we had trick or treaters or not. But so you're never home on Halloween night either.
Yeah, I'm never home, and I thought about doing that, like that Trust Bowl, where you have the police take one,
Right.
Which I loved as a young child.
Sure.
Oh yeah,
Trust
just take
Bowl.
one. Yeah.
Just take one or three.
Yeah. And towards the end of the night, you're gonna circle back.
Right.
One at a time.
Right.
So yeah. 'Cause the last several Halloweens, I'm either working. And then my family's somewhere else, or we've gone somewhere. So it's actually been quite a while since I've actually handed out any Halloween candy.
Yeah, same here. I'm not a big fan of answering the door multiple times.
No.
Not that I'm antisocial, but by the time I get home, I'm like, I'd rather not have to answer the door 47 times.
I'll admit, I'm like, we used to be like that too. Part of it was because of the front door, but before we had a kid, we would just hide in the house in the dark and turn off the light. I'm not kidding you, because we just...
We see you in there.
I know. I actually had a friend do that. He went to my back door and knocked and scared the tar out of me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in the dark. He knew I was in there. And I was like, oh! Yeah.
I'm going to read another commercial for our friends at Platte Valley Bank. The Dollar Bill Kids Club of Platte Valley Bank teaches children the importance of saving money. 12 local schools partner with Platte Valley Bank and the program. The club began with 70 accounts in 1996 and now has grown to over 4,000. How about that? For more information about the club or to open an account, visit PlatteValleyBank.com. Member FDIC, and Susan Baker of Platte Valley Bank started that program in 1996, and she is still there and has seen it grow to over 4,000 accounts. That's pretty amazing. All right, Mike, now we've covered Halloween. Anything we need to say about Halloween? We're going to move on to other safety tips.
I think we've covered kind of the basics.
Tips and tricks. Safety tips and tricks.
That's what we're here for. We're here to save lives, right, Mike? That's what we do. I mean, if anybody dies on our watch, it's going to be very embarrassing because this is the first year we've done the Halloween safety tips. So if there's any accidents, I'm going to feel personally responsible. So let's make sure everybody, you got to watch this video over and over. Now, besides Halloween night, we were talking a little bit off air. I like to say off air like we really have a show.
Yeah, when we were in the green room.
We were in the green room. Mike was powdering his nose. And,
I was in hair and makeup.
It was awesome. How did you like the hair and makeup girls that we have? That's pretty sweet, isn't that pretty nice?
Oh, that was a girl?
Yeah.
Man hands.
He fits right in. You know,
He does.
If you're doing police work and you want a co-hosting job, just come on and join us.
Goodbye,
You need to get rid of the stairs, though.
Oh yeah, you should have seen Cindy tackle those stairs tonight. She was hurt, and I don't know. She wasn't feeling well today, but
She's not wearing a 25 pounds of extra.
No, she
stuff.
does not have her bulletproof vest on.
Right.
But you do, and
you got lots of gear going
Yeah,
on.
perhaps you and I both need to hit that walking trail more often.
Right,
I think is what. But what was I saying?
I don't know. More
the-
tips and tricks.
Yeah, we were talking about car thefts. Thefts from cars.
Thefts from vehicles.
Yeah, now tell us about that. What's the best way to avoid your car being broken into? And I put air quotes.
Air
around
quotes. Just lock your vehicles. It's the easiest thing. Very large percentage of our vehicles are unlocked that have items removed for them. In fact, I can't think of offhand the last time we actually had a vehicle that was broken into. Basically, fortunately, there's people out there that just go around and they'll just start pulling on car doors, and a lot of people keep valuables in their vehicle. They find an open door, and unfortunately, those items are gone. And a lot of times those items are firearms that people keep in vehicles and things like that. And so yeah, that's the easiest thing. Lock your car.
You know, it's funny. I actually have had a vehicle broken into. We had first moved to Kansas City. We were living in Lenexa and living in an apartment, and woke up one morning to the police at my door at like 7:30. I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? You know, and to kind of find out they had broken into several cars in the complex, and my door was locked. They had broken the window, taken the stereo and some stuff, but it was recovered. But point being, it just it was nice. So they actually found. Actually, they had already found, I think, another vehicle with the stolen stereos in the trunk of the vehicle, so they probably got spooked and left it and ran off or something like that. So I eventually had to go back to the station and identify my stereo, and get it back. But the worst part was paying for the window, of course.
Oh right, yeah, and that's the thing. Yeah, depending on your insurance policy.
Right.
Unfortunately, lots of people are out of pocket for those kind of things.
And that was 21 years ago. I guarantee it was out of pocket for me. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
definitely. And they also had fingerprint dust all over it. They'd already fingerprinted.
Oh, fingerprint dust? Yeah, trust me. Yeah. We try to be careful, but when I get done, I've got it everywhere on me. Yeah. You know, because it's very fine powder, and and we kind of warn people because we really do. And we do get lucky. We will pull prints off things, you know, stolen vehicles, things like that. But I warn the person after I process the vehicle. Here's the deal: there's going to be dust everywhere, and it spreads like crazy. So you're gonna have to kind of we try to clean it up as best we can.
Yeah.
But,
Well, we know it's a mess. I mean, I watch CSI. I know it's a
You
mess.
know.
Right.
Yeah.
And stuff.
back to TV and
Right. It's always back to TV.
So really, there's nothing in particular that they're looking for. Essentially, they're just looking for the opportunity to reach in and grab whatever you have laying there, right? I mean,
yeah, typically. I mean, and we've had reports of that also. I left my purse on the front seat,
Right.
or my wallet was on the dashboard. Valuables that are in sight make it very tempting for somebody, unfortunately.
Yeah. Now, a lot of the hotels down by KCI, a lot of folks who do the park and fly thing, they'll leave a weapon in their car and often not lock the car.
Yes.
Sometimes they will lock it and they'll still smash it. Now I did hear a Kansas City police officer one time when he was giving a program say that they should probably put the weapons in the trunk because he had never seen a trunk that had been pried open and any theft done that way. It was all through the window, through either a locked car by busting out the window or...
Right. You know what's going to happen now is everybody's going to start prying open trunks.
Oh, well,
nice job.
I was just thinking you in my career. Yeah, I've never seen a trunk prying open either.
I figured it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, sound advice. I mean, I think maybe if you're going to be away from that vehicle for a long time, you should secure that weapon in a safe spot out of sight of that vehicle.
And those weekends where they have the gun show down there at the expo center, that's a big weekend for car break-ins down there.
I can
Imagine the corridor.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
What else we got to talk about tonight, Mike? What's going on now? Let's talk about this.
Sure.
You are the new public information officer.
I am,
For
yes.
the department, and this is really the first time the department has had a PIO, right?
Yeah, in the past it was it was kind of who was working at the time. If we had some sort of major event or something that could draw public concern, it was typically chief of police or lieutenants or one of the sergeants, or kind of just who was available at the time.
Right.
And with Chief Bristow coming in, she kind of wanted to standardize things. That way, I mean, you and I, we've known each other for several years now. Just kind of standardize it on the person.
Right.
That way you don't have to try to figure out who you're supposed to go
So
to.
now when I have questions, I call you, I text you sometimes, and so I'll be texting you all the time now, Mike. So just keep your phone on all
And
hours.
probably be more because I'll be texting him to text you. So.
While he's watching live PD, he'll be like, ask Mike this.
Ask Mike, go to Live PD right now and tell me if this is real.
So now there hasn't really been anything where I've had to contact you yet since you've had this training. Tell us a little bit about the PIO training that you had, because that was kind of interesting, if you can talk about that. Is that top secret?
I don't think it's top secret. It was actually a 2-day course, and PIO was a public information officer, and it's basically learning, kind of how to compile information for media releases or for press conferences and things like that. And it was actually really good training. I mean, they had cameras set up and lights, and basically they, hey, this is what happened. Now you have to do a press conference, and then and it's funny because the first couple times. Everybody was, there's probably about 40 people in that class, and everyone was pretty easy on you. You'd get up there, whatever happened, you had to, this is a press conference, and then open it up for questions. And the first couple times, everybody was really nice. And then after a couple times, all of a sudden, every police officer in that, I don't know if they had like a vendetta, But every police officer in that place, they're like, I'm going to be that guy that asks a really hard question. And yeah.
Everybody did it.
Yeah, right. So at first, we were all trying to be friends, and then it turned into, oh, wait till you get up there. I'm going to ask you a question.
Right.
That's
and pretty difficult questions, but yeah, it was actually really good training.
And they taught you how to deflect. Like if I ask you kind of an off the wall.
You're gonna tell my secret again.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Look, I don't think it's not really that much of a secret. But go ahead.
I think it's so funny that they actually train that.
Yeah, I know.
But it's like if I asked Mike, like let's say there was a crime involving a weapon in Platte City, and some media members might do this. I wouldn't do it, but if somebody said, "Hey, what do you think about? Does this mean we need gun control or some weird question like that?" What do you say, Mike?
Well, a great response to a question like that is, that's a topic for another day. Because we want to stay focused on what happened and what we've done.
Sure.
And not only that, personal opinions is not something typically that I'm representing the police department. I represent the Constitution and laws of the state and the city. And
it's an off the wall.
Yeah, you want to avoid giving a personal opinion about
exactly. And if a media member did ask that, they obviously have a personal opinion about it, or they wouldn't be bringing it up directly like that. So, but that's just I love the way they actually teach.
Well, who else is good at that is Andy Reid. They've all had that kind of training, similar, not that kind of training, but a similar training. They have,
right?
Because they're not supposed to talk bad about other teammates, talk bad about their team, talk bad about their coach or anything like that. They're supposed to deflect, and so I can understand that would be a very similar situation.
Oh, absolutely.
Get ready for it.
And and they also push a lot of transparency. That especially now with obviously Facebook, information gets out there so quickly.
Yeah.
And misinformation especially, it's amazing how it's like the old telephone game. Where the story starts out here, and by the time it gets to the 10th person, it's kind of the same, but it has some embellishments, and that's always kind of fun. When somebody writes something about a report that I've done, I was there, I know what happened, and then when I read about it later, how accurate it is.
Right.
And sometimes I'll be reading, it's like, wow, I should have put that in my report. Oh, that didn't happen.
Right.
And that's just that's how it happens sometimes.
Yeah. I can imagine so.
Right, so definitely transparency is one thing they really wanted to kind of stress, and make sure accurate information is getting out the right way.
Right. And when I was talking to you and Chief Hacker, Chief Bristow, the other day, you guys were talking about the one of the most popular terms, or the term, the catchphrase now in police training is de-escalation of an event, or of a situation where you go and someone's not happy, let's say.
Right.
So talk a little bit about that, how they train you to de-escalate the situation.
As far as de-escalation, basically, lots of times I'm, meeting somebody and they're in some sort of crisis, or they're just having a really bad day, or unfortunately, they are on some sort of, narcotic or something like that. And I think that's part of that trend in law enforcement, where if you watch some of those old episodes of like Cops, it was kind of a different law enforcement culture, where if somebody was resistant, it was a hands-on approach. They went straight to that. And now, more about de-escalation. I'm going to try to talk to that person, find out what's going on, and I'm going to try to get compliance and get them to kind of calm down, without having to, go hands-on or use a taser or use other forms of compliance that we kind of want to avoid.
You see that a lot in live PD too, and some of the officers are obviously better at it than others, but you do, I do actually find that very interesting, the interaction of the police officers with the people, so it's nice to know that is obviously something you're trying to do, and like I said, it's fun to watch someone not be able to do it very well, but again, it's two people, so you got to have the compliance between the two people, and you could be the best person at de-escalating, and it might not matter. You may still have to pull the taser out, right?
Right. Yeah. Sometimes. In fact, the last time I had to deploy my taser, we tried to de-escalate somebody for. I want to say we went back and kind of reviewed some of our video. It was about 20 minutes that we were really trying to talk this person down, and because they kept wanting to, it was kind of, he was telling us, I'm going to fight you, we went as long as we could, and we tried. And then got to the point where he started to fight us, and then we then have to move on from there.
You had to show him that you had the advantage in that situation, really.
With the taser.
Yeah,
The tasers, yeah. By the way, you need to ask him if being tased was part of his training.
Yeah, did they ever tase you in training? Have you ever been tased?
I've been tased twice in training.
In what body
Yeah.
part did they tase you?
Well, upper torso.
Oh,
which
well,
actually it's frowned upon now. It's not part of it.
Really?
And in fact, when I was originally certified in taser, it was not required for you to be tasered. Now, some departments they require you to do it, and it's an experience. And I can testify in court now. I know the effects of a taser. It goes for 5 seconds. But yeah, years ago when I first went through taser training, I did a 1 day of training in the chest, which really I try to avoid anything across your heart now. And then the second day for a video I did it, I was tasered in the back.
Wow.
And the second time I really regretted, because I kind of knew. The first time I was saying, all right, I know it's coming. It's in controlled environment.
Right.
It's training, because you're told, hey, you're going to fight these guys.
Right.
And we're going to try to stop you. So I'm thinking, oh, I got this. I know it's coming. And the next thing I know, my eyes are going different directions.
Oh,
and
man.
I remember I was trying to say, shut it off, and nothing comes out. If you see the videos, you just kind of sound like Chewbacca or something.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
But true that I've seen also on Live PD that it doesn't always affect people. You don't have to be even high on narcotics for it to not affect people, or do you have to be high on narcotics?
Normally when it's not effective, it's because you're not getting the penetration of those probes.
Okay.
So heavy clothing or
Right.
just, one, because you have two probes that have to make contact. You have to have a large spread between those probes.
Okay.
That's sort of the big thing.
Okay.
So yeah, I can't think of the percentages offhand, but yeah, it is not a 100% effective tool.
Right.
And in fact, you kind of almost expect it,
Be ready for it not
Yeah.
to work. Yeah.
Right. So this last time when I deployed it, it was actually 100% effective. And it was, whoa, okay, perfect. I got, I received results, and that individual did not suffer any sort of injuries, things like that, taken into custody without any further incident.
And you know in a split second whether it's working?
Oh, absolutely.
You know right away.
Yeah,
You can,
yeah.
you know, you can
There's
know.
a difference in tone of the phase of the arc, basically.
Okay.
So yeah, you can hear the difference, and obviously, if somebody gets total body lockup or when they're tasered, you're gonna know it.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
I know everyone has seen the videos.
Right.
You know if somebody has been
That's
affected
true.
by that taser.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you were tased, did it leave, how long did it hurt? What did it feel like? Did it leave any scars, marks, or did you, give us the details.
Well, for me, it left some burn marks. Because when I did, we used training clips. So kind of like little alligator clips, and one was clipped down on my belt and one up on my shoulder to go across my chest. And on those contacts, I did receive some electrical burns.
Wow.
The probes themselves don't do that though, because that probe has a piece of metal that's penetrating in, and that doesn't happen. You don't get those burns. So if you ever talk to anybody that's been tasered using those training clips, that's sort of the big complaint that you kind of get some surface burns, nothing lasting.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's 5 seconds. It's over and done with. And I think if you talk to anybody in law enforcement that's been exposed to pepper spray or taser, I think most officers would say, I would take taser over pepper spray any day.
That I can
Right.
guess. Yeah, that can
Yeah.
imagine
Pepper
that.
spray just lasts for a long time, and it just stays in your skin, and it's an irritant.
How many times have you had to deploy the taser in your time here in Platte City?
I've actually only discharged my taser. Me personally, I've been with officers I've been part of, but me personally, I've actually only discharged my taser that one and only time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it was 100% effective on that one.
Nice.
I've pulled out my taser quite a few times and received kind of the compliance that I wanted. Same thing. A lot of people have seen those videos, and when they get that red dot on them, and we're giving commands, lots of times people say, "Hey, yeah, please,"
Yeah, that'd be enough for me.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't. Yeah, but if you got, if you got that thing out, I'm done.
Right.
Yes, officer.
Yes, no kidding.
Now, I am going to assume that you've never had to fire your weapon in Platte City?
That's correct.
Okay. Well, that's
Yeah.
good.
Other than unfortunately, injured animal. We do have to dispatch. A deer gets struck by a vehicle or something. But yeah, obviously nothing. Towards people or anything like that.
Good to know. Now, we had a reader or a viewer text in a question, type in
Sure.
a question.
It is right. We're curious to know what you do. You encourage teenagers to trick or treat? Where is there a line to draw here?
I kind of encourage people to always get out. I know I personally don't mind. Times when I have been home and I have trick or treaters, I don't mind. I think sometimes I've heard people say, "Oh, you're too old." I don't think you're too old. Anytime that you're out and about getting exercise and meeting neighbors and things like that, it's not a bad thing in my opinion.
Just don't do any stuff you shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, get any vandalism calls in Platte City on Halloween night typically?
I mean, like kind of like the toilet paper kind of stuff, but nothing real major.
Nothing
Typically.
criminal.
Yeah. Right. A lot of witnesses around typically.
Right,
Yeah, that's true.
which is a good thing.
Right.
No kidding. Wow.
Brad, have you ever seen any toilet papering done on live PD? Do they show those?
I have never seen. I think that is filler content on live PD. They
Yeah.
will show that when necessary, but I've never seen it. Yeah.
Now, Mike, you said that you have been on Facebook Live before, not on Landmark Live, but on Facebook Live.
I have
Tell
been
us
on
that story. This is a good
Yeah.
story.
I regret telling that story now.
Yeah.
And this is not my first experience with Facebook Live. I've arrested several people that Facebook Live their arrest.
That's interesting.
Right, yeah, and I understand, sometimes people, want to make sure, everybody's doing the correct thing.
Right.
But later on, it's actually kind of interesting because lots of times I can view those videos, and then I can watch my camera as well. I kind of have 2 vantage points.
Yeah.
It's kind of
So thank you.
Advantage, too.
Yeah.
It's like, double the camera angles. So now listen, do you have the body camera going tonight? So you're actually
Yeah, no, it's not on right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, and in body cameras, I want to say we've had these for about 7 years now or so,
Has it been
6 or
that
7 years. Yeah, we've had body cameras for a long time now, and obviously within recent years, a lot more agencies are going to them. But yeah, I actually physically have to turn it on because I do have some expectation of privacy. I do take bathroom breaks and things like that during my shift and things like that. So it's not constantly recording. I actually have to turn it on.
And you still have the cameras in the cars, right? Too.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, are those going all the time, even when the cars are parked, or do you shut those on?
It's kind of yes or no. They are on a loop. So let's say I'm working a shift and I drive by a vehicle and I come by later and that vehicle's now been broken into. I can go back in time on my dash camera and see what vehicles were in the area. Did anybody pass me? Did I capture any sort of data? And I know there's been cases solved with that feature of that. They call it record after the fact. So basically, it's kind of like your DVR. It's got a certain amount of loop on it. Mm-hmm. So it's always recording, but it's not recording my audio.
Gotcha.
So only when I turn on my lights and siren does it then pick up the audio and things like that.
Very cool. What else you got, Brad?
I've enjoyed this so
This
much.
is
I'm just kind of
interesting.
taking it
Learned
all
a
in.
lot.
This is great. Yeah.
Learned a lot. Now, Mike, you play the guitar. You told me one day.
I do, yeah. I dabble.
Yeah. Now, Brad tries to play the guitar as well. Actually, he's pretty good at it. He doesn't show it off. Brad, talk about the music videos you've just put out.
I just
Especially talk about the one that I'm in.
Well, yeah, I will. And as I mentioned on last week's show, I've been doing music since it's been 30 plus years or so, and I've been doing it off and on, but I don't really let the whole world know about it because I don't know, I'm a little shy.
Well, you should.
About
It's
it.
really good.
Yeah, I'm
That's
kind
right.
of
I've
slowly,
been
as you've
impressed.
seen, I'm slowly kind of pushing it back out there again.
You must be feeling more confident about it. 'Cause
Little
you
bit.
pushed it out there,
A
and I
little bit.
retweeted it.
Well, like I said, I honestly do have a huge catalog of music that I've recorded over the years, and I'm thinking about I'm joking when I say it, but I'm serious that I'm thinking about putting out a box set. It's like I really could, but anyway, I think I mentioned this on the show last week, but I'll mention it again. That I had a song that I recorded called Mexico. It's been about 8 years now, and we'd never really done anything. The guys that I record with, anything with the song. So I thought, well, maybe this would be a nice way to show some of my Facebook friends, kind of throw something out there to them. So I asked everybody to send me their tropical pictures on Facebook from their tropical vacations, and that I was going to make a music video with them. And so that's what I did. So once I put the music video together, I threw it out there and said, here you go, guys. Here's your pictures in my music video. And then that's kind of how I got to have them hear the song, and also because they wanted to watch the video and see their pictures. And Ivan's on there surfing.
Yeah, I'm surfing, body surfing.
Did you ever get up
Boogie
on the
board?
surfboard?
No, it was a boogie board. You're supposed to lay on it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it wasn't a full size surfboard. You're supposed to lay down. I'm pretty good at laying down. So I just laid down on that thing and rode a wave.
Yeah.
I looked really good in it too.
You did look good.
Go to the 40-second mark on that video.
It's 40-second mark, yeah. I want to hear more about Mike's guitar playing.
Yeah, let's hear about yours.
Yeah, well, obviously when I was younger, I played a lot more often, and now I'm just kind of like an older guy that plays in the basement. It's cool. Yeah,
There's a lot of those. I'm kind of one of those.
clearly I didn't make it. I think I peaked in high school. So but I still enjoy playing.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you guys, you two should.
We
hook
should
up
get together sometime,
We'll do like a Landmark Live. You guys do dueling guitars or something.
I actually think of myself as more of a songwriter than I do a guitar player, but I do play the guitar. It's like, for example, Rick Springfield is a guitar player and a songwriter. I am not Rick Springfield, but Rick Springfield is coming here.
He is Saturday night. In fact, Mike, for coming on as our guest tonight, we'd like to offer you 2 concert tickets. Now, you get your choice.
Oh, all right.
This Saturday night, we have 2 to Rick Springfield. I don't know if you know who Rick Springfield
Yeah.
is. Okay,
yeah,
are you
I
familiar?
do know Rick Springfield.
Okay, and then, or next Saturday, we have Almost Kiss. So you get your choice. Do you want to go to Rick Springfield or?
And you have to tell us on the air now.
Yeah, the pressure's on. You don't have time to text your wife.
I was gonna say, like, there's always,
Actually, you do.
there's always scheduling, and,
Yeah.
and you know,
You can get back to
training.
it.
Yeah,
and-
But of those 2,
I think next week I'm out of town. You know.
well,
I
there goes
understand.
Almost Kiss.
Yeah, I know.
I'll take him.
Yeah.
Are they playing in Jefferson City? I'll be in Jefferson City.
Oh,
for
no,
training.
no. But we've got all kinds, anything at Ameristar, we'll line you out, just, you know, if you
He's
can.
got the
I
connection.
appreciate it.
He's got the hookup.
So that's,
Yeah.
and we do have one more gift. If I could have our producer hand me one more gift that we have from Mike this
Oh,
evening for
I
coming on the
saw
show.
that earlier.
For
I
coming on the
wondered.
show because we know one thing that
Right.
police
Yes.
officers do like
Yes.
is a dozen donuts. And
This is why those stairs were so different.
and after you eat these, we will see you on that walking trail.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
But if you don't mind sharing those, I haven't eaten anything all day.
Oh, okay,
so
that's fantastic.
after the show,
See, I'm not even gonna touch them.
I will.
Yeah, like I have to stay away from them. You know, like, cameras off. Yeah, we're gonna
We
go to
haven't
town
dived
on
in.
these.
You'll have like
Yeah,
glaze all over.
Oh,
I'll get my body cam going here.
Yeah.
Well, guys, if you have any questions after the show, get a hold of Mike. He'll answer your Halloween
Absolutely.
safety questions at the Platte City Police Department, right? And if they want to call the police department, is there a special number, or do they need your cell phone? Should we give?
We have a
Should we give out your cell phone?
Yeah, if that's no. We have a really easy number. It's area code 816-858-5150. So 858-5150.
5150.
Awesome.
Makes sense.
Awesome.
Van Halen album.
Yes.
Too.
Yes. Thank
And
you.
what does 5150 stand for?
Yeah, I heard isn't that the Los Angeles police code for like a disturbed person?
I think
Really?
you're right. I think
Yeah.
that's what it. I think that's what I read too.
I don't want to
Yeah.
let Eddie Van Halen down, but
No.
that's what I heard when I was a kid. You know, like
Right. I think I heard something like that too.
You know what we forgot to do? Lock of the week. Do you have a lock of the week this week? NFL? You didn't look? I got one. Mike, do you watch NFL games at all?
I do. Yes.
Okay. Who's your lock of the week? Do you know the spreads?
I know.
You
I'm not that high.
Do you-
This guy, I'm telling you.
Well, while you're looking,
Yeah,
look
go ahead,
up
go ahead,
quick, or
Rick.
we
Yeah,
can
go ahead.
always add. We can
No,
just
go ahead. I'll
put
look
that on
real quick,
social
see
media
what it's
later.
about. Yeah.
But mine is going to be. I'm going to go back and ride the Saints again this week, Brad,
It's a
because
good
they
idea.
won
It's a
for
good
me
one.
last week.
It was a good one.
I'm now 3-4, still have a losing record, Mike, which is never good. But we're going to get back to at least 500. I'm taking the Saints +1 at Minnesota, just because the Saints are sneaky good. Their defense is better than people think. And hey, this just in, the Saints are actually playing better on the road than they used to back in the day. So take the Saints +1. It's the Sunday night game at Minnesota.
I don't like that spread either. That's a good one. I'm not going to give mine now because I will. Maybe I should.
Go
Hey,
ahead.
you know what? Maybe I should because as I've said before, I'm really good at being bad.
Yeah.
So why don't I just go
On the
ahead and
fly.
just pick it on
Just
the
do it on the
fly
fly.
because I've been so horrible lately. I'm going to go back to a team that I always talk about how I hate, and this will give me a reason to continue to want the Chiefs to win. I'm just going to. What's the spread on the Chiefs game? Do you know?
10.
Broncos against the Broncos. They're
Chiefs
playing-
-10 over
Wow.
Broncos.
What the hell? They'll cover. They'll cover.
Who?
The Chiefs. I'm sorry. The Chiefs will beat them by more than
Okay,
10.
Chiefs are-
Chiefs going to beat them by more than 10 because I hate the Broncos. Everybody here hate the Broncos? Everybody?
Oh, yeah, everybody hates the Broncos.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Broncos fan, are you?
Yeah, I am not.
Okay, thank God. Because
Do
there's a
you have a
few
team?
of them
Do you have a
in town.
team?
Well, here's the thing. I do have a team. I have two teams because I've lived in the area for a long time now, so I do love the
Chargers.
Chiefs.
Right.
But I grew up in Green Bay,
Oh.
and I grew up in the Brett Favre days,
Yeah.
going to Lambeau Field and things like that. So, yeah.
That's fair. I don't hate the Packers, so
Right.
you know.
That was a game I looked at for my lock of the week, actually, because Green Bay is playing the Rams. Green Bay gets like 9 points, so that's very
What?
tempting. Yeah. Green Bay is
Wow.
getting 9 points, which if I was going to wager on that game, not that I would ever wager illegally, officer,
No.
but if I were to do that, I would take your Packers +9 and hope that they cover. But
I don't mean to. Oh, were you going to make a pick too, Mike? I'm sorry, I don't want to.
No.
We didn't prep him.
Yeah,
I totally forgot to
yeah.
prep
Okay.
him.
I don't
on
work good
that
under
too.
pressure.
So
I think
that's
I'm
why you're in police business.
Yeah.
Don't work good under pressure.
All over the place.
Well, I wanted to mention real quick, if we got time, that if you're from Wisconsin, you might have there's a Netflix documentary, second season just came out, called Making a Murderer, of this, you know
Yes.
what I'm talking about? Were you living in Wisconsin at the time? How many years ago did that start? It's been a while, right?
Yeah, I moved out of Wisconsin, I want to say about 90,
It was probably.
about 98, 99 is when
Okay.
I moved away.
So I
I
think
briefly moved back for a little while, but yeah, it's been a while,
So have you followed that whole storyline? Or you know anything about it? No.
I watched plenty of things on Netflix, but I haven't watched that
Oh,
one.
you'll like that one. It's
Yeah.
very interesting. And I think everybody in Wisconsin thinks the guy is guilty, but I think everybody from outside of Wisconsin is like, I don't know, because of the way they present it on the documentary. You never really know what's true and what's the fake journalism, yellow journalism.
Fake news. Fake news is what they say nowadays.
Yeah, fake news.
Did you just coin that? I like that.
No, I don't even believe in it. Mike.
All the real news. It's fit to print.
That's right.
Right
That's
here.
right. Now I'm gonna have Brad one more time read a Platte Valley Bank commercial so we can thank the fine folks. Pick that one.
I'll pick
Whichever
that
can
one.
read the
That's a
easiest.
good one. Yeah. The Dollar Bill Kids Club of Platte Valley Bank is a sponsor of this episode of Landmark Live. The Dollar Bill Kids Club's goal is to help teach young people the importance of saving while having fun at the same time. The club was organized 22 years ago and has over 4,000 members. Open an account online today and start teaching your child the importance of saving money. Member FDIC.
Thank you, Platte Valley Bank and Susan Baker. Thank you, Sergeant Mike Mann, for coming on the show.
Thank you, sir.
It was fun, man. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
We'll have to do this
Thank you,
again.
Mike.
Thank you.
We'll do this every Halloween if we have to.
We should. Absolutely.
We'll keep
Make it a
saving
tradition.
lives.
I love this guy.
Yeah, he's a good man.
Yeah.
We will see you next time on Landmark Live. Thank you, everybody.